We're here to talk about the creator and Saw 10, Saw X. Which one
Socks.
you want to do?
Go Socks.
Yeah.
We could
Mhm.
talk about. We just watched Saw 10, so we can
Yeah.
start with that if you
Yeah.
want.
We should do that one. And it's also like getting close to Halloween. It's October. We're
Boo.
getting into spooky season. Yeah, it's about Tobin Bell as Jigsaw.
John Kramer.
It's set before he died in the third one. Spoilers for the Saw movies, I guess. They're pretty stupid, but
Right.
like there's this killer Jigsaw who sets up traps or whatever, and he has cancer, and he dies in the third one. And then and the rest of them, since they've pretended like he's planned everything out after his death, and he's just been coming back and
Hmm.
doing these, having other people set up the traps for him and plotting it all out. And he has like a whole network of people working for him. The series gets very convoluted and bad, and then they tried rebooting it and doing a spin-off with Chris Rock as a detective, and that didn't work. So they just decided to like go back to the basics and make it a prequel, like set some time in between Saw 1 and 3, like somewhere in there, or 2 and 3. I don't know exactly the timeline, but it's somewhere around there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was meant to be set before the first one, but it doesn't seem like it. I guess it's between like
Yeah.
1 and 2
Uh,
or 2 and 3.
Yeah. I think it's between 1 and 2, even maybe. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, because you mentioned, the Jigsaw character he gets killed off in the third one. What they kind of shot themselves in the foot because I guess it was meant to be
Yeah.
like a shocking conclusion, and it's like, oh shit, we got like 7 movies to go. What I don't know how
Yeah.
much they planned that out. It was kind of like it's not exactly the same, but like the Fast and the Furious movies, like they killed Han in the third one, but then like, oh, we like this character, let's bring him back. So then like 4, 5, and 6 are set before 3.
Tobin Bell is one of the best parts of the movies, so they want to write him in wherever they can, even
Right?
if it
Yeah.
makes no sense. So they have to keep having flashbacks. And, oh, it's like before he died, he went to the office with his wife and signed a will that said the blah blah blah, and it's like somehow tied into the story. Any scene they could have to like, any scene they can throw in there with Tobin Bell, and any scene they can throw in there with traps. That's like any excuse.
Yeah, they use him as a
That's
crutch.
like, yeah, even if it has like nothing to do with anything, even if it's a dream. Like in this movie, Jigsaw just looks at a guy like stealing.
You gotta fucking watch your step in front of Jigsaw, Jesus.
Yeah,
Take your eyes out for minor infractions and
right. We get this whole dream sequence, but then it's just like, oh no, he didn't end up taking the watch or
oh,
whatever
it was a dream.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I thought that happened
Oh
after
well,
the fact.
maybe it had. Well, but do you remember he puts it back,
Right.
and then Jigsaw says to him, "Good choice."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's
All right,
not
now-
like the Halloween. It's not like the Halloween ends one. That
No,
one's
no, no,
fucking
no.
dumb.
I could see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was something that happened after, but I guess now it makes sense. Okay,
Yeah,
it
it's
just
not
like I don't think
right.
these movies really usually do dream sequences. Maybe that's why I was a little thrown off by it.
They do.
Do they?
In the seventh one, yeah.
I didn't see. For context, you've
Yeah.
seen all of them. I've seen the first
they're really
5, and then this one. So I guess 6 out of the 10. Yeah, they're all kind of the same.
Yeah, they rely on flashbacks and dream sequences. It's very lazy kind of writing. But yeah, it's not like Halloween Ends where people were telling me like, no, this Jamie Lee Curtis was actually, she wasn't there. It was a dream or it was a vision. Or I'm like, that wasn't like implied really.
Yeah, there was nothing to suggest that other than your own guessing. And this one, this probably has the most Tobin Bell out of any of the movies. Like Jigsaw, he
Yeah.
has like quite a bit of. He's basically the lead of the movie, which isn't the case for all of them. He's in
Which is
2.
a good thing.
Yeah, he's in 2 quite a bit, but yeah, otherwise like he's usually like a side character sometimes. At least from what I recall, it's been a while since I've seen like some of the other sequels.
Well, the first one he isn't in it much.
No,
He's
yeah.
just a body on the floor.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, Tobin Bell, he plays the part well, and he had been like a character actor for a while before. Like he's in there's this great movie, The Verdict, with like Paul Newman. It's funny, you could see Tobin Bell and Bruce Willis at the end. They're extras in the courtroom, and he's also in
Yeah.
Goodfellas, and he was on The Sopranos. He had like a lot of like bit parts before, but then in his 60s he gets this big like horror movie role.
The movie itself, this one, I enjoyed it. I saw it with a friend who had never seen any of them, and he enjoyed it. He was like, "That was gross." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gruesome, but it's fun." I thought it was very entertaining. It had like a good, I don't know, it had like a good like story. I thought for a Saw movie.
Sure,
I
like
guess with the preface for a Saw movie. Spoilers.
I mean, we can get into spoil. It's kind of hard to describe it
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah, but he gets tricked by these guys who think he thinks they're gonna cure his cancer, but
Hmm.
they don't. They just steal his money. But he tracks them all down. He I guess he uses if you remember in the old Saw movies, I don't know how many of them you
The
saw.
first five I've seen.
How many of them you saw?
I saw it.
Yeah. But there's the guy detective. He's like
Yeah, yeah,
the
right.
detective guy who's working with Jigsaw. I think
Costas
he calls him on
Mandalore.
the. Yeah, he calls him on the phone in this movie. Like Jigsaw is like, "Hey, I need you to find these guys for me." You know, the people who stole his money. All the people who work there, which is like, another doctor who was also the cab driver, drove him there, and um, I guess one of the kidnappers or something. One of the guys who like remember they hold him at gunpoint and drive him to the house. Like one of those guys. And there's also a younger girl there who is not like a kid. She's like a
Young
young
adult.
adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a bit younger than the rest of them. And she's like, he thinks she's nice, but she ends up betraying him, and she's like a drug addict or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
She's just like, yeah, and I don't know. I thought that was like a fun story, and then to see like the cathartic revenge of Jigsaw like getting back at all these people was fun because it's like, yeah, you are kind of rooting for him because they are awful human beings, like they're tricking like cancer patients, and the whole thing is very like morally
Ambiguous.
you
Yeah.
know, right? It's like, who do I root for here? Because this guy, he has his own twisted philosophy, and he's like almost killing these people basically. But
Yeah.
and it's really gruesome. The movie's really gruesome.
Yeah, it's definitely not for
I
the
love that.
squeamish. There's a lot of, broken bones and,
Of people
blood.
getting dismembered
Yeah,
and
severed
blood.
limbs. Yeah.
Oh, it's really it's gross.
It is kind of bizarre in that sense, because you mentioned like you're almost rooting for him because he's a a murderer. I know they're
Yeah.
like, well, he's not a murderer because blah blah. Like he's a murderer. Like he is. Like
Yeah. But he has his own twisted philosophy.
Yeah,
and,
like he
his
does,
own
like-
weird cult of people who follow him, like Amanda and the detective guy, Detective Hoffman, I think.
Yeah, and obviously, it is cruel for the people to act like they're curing his cancer. But yeah, on the other hand, he is a sociopath. Like, they didn't torture him. They
Yeah.
didn't
But he has a good line. He's like, "I'm gonna get a moral lecture from you," and he's like, "Yeah, you're right. Like these people, they deserve to die. Honestly, I mean, they were horrible."
Yeah,
And so the audience is rooting for him in a sick, demented way. But it's just a very fun movie, and those characters were fun too that were locked up because we've laughed before at like Jigsaw locking up like the guy from Lincoln Park who sadly passed away.
Yeah,
but at
yeah,
the
show me
time,
that clip.
He's in Jigsaw, or he's in Saw 3D, and there's a scene where he's like glued to a fucking car seat, and Jigsaw's like, "You're all racists, and so I've tied you to, or I've glued you to this car seat, and you have to like pull yourself out of it before, you run over your friend's head or whatever." It's like the characters can be kind of dumb because it's just an excuse for traps, but I liked the dynamic of these characters because like half of them are just like completely
Dopes.
crazy. Yeah. Well, like I guess it's different. Yeah, because like I think his name's Mateo. He's like very cowardly, and he's just like he's just like a big
screams a
baby
lot,
the whole
yeah.
time. Right, exactly. And then the lead woman who's like in charge of the whole thing. She's just like a cold-blooded, like she could give a shit about. She's like cut this
Right.
woman's intestines out of her so she could use it as a rope. Like she just doesn't care about like anything about it other than herself, and she's just like a backstabbing, cold, sociopath. And it was just like a
Right.
fun dynamic with all the characters. Yeah, it wasn't just like dumb.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you point out.
writing.
There's a clear motivation for why Jigsaw has put these people in the traps because I think like in the later movies it was a little more like tenuous. because I think in the second one it was like Donnie Wahlberg and kind of like a lot of the other sequels. It's kind of just like an excuse to like have people like get mutilated by traps. So yeah, at least like it's clear why Jigsaw is targeting these people because I think in the third one is like, oh, a guy's daughter was killed in a car wreck, and like the people responsible, he's got to save them or like choose not to save them. But yeah, like it kind of gets more and more convoluted, and
Yeah, especially the subplots or whatever, and like just trying to write him into the movie to and try to make it work. But here they just like scrap all that. Like just set it, do like a soft reboot kind of thing. Just set it before, and just have a story set in that time, and that worked much better, honestly.
right, yeah.
Like you said, this had the most Tobin Bell, and I think that made it one of my favorite Saw movies that I've seen. It was just entertaining because it was mostly about him, and he's mostly in it. And
yeah, and they bring back. You mentioned the detective character. I figured that was the character that was returning because he said detective when he's talking to him on the phone, and his other assistant Amanda. I don't know if she's in all of them, but she's in quite a few because she's in the first one. She's like one of the few like recurring characters. And I don't remember why, because I remember she's in the scene in the first one. She has a bear trap on her head, but then I don't recall why she's started working for him.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. Yeah, it's really
Stockholm syndrome.
I think she dies and then comes back or something.
Oh really? Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know.
Because then like I never saw like the final chapter, whichever one that was. Like the Carrie Elwes character came back too at some point.
Well, yeah, the guy from the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just comes back, and it turns out he was working for Jigsaw the whole time too, ever since the first one.
Yeah, you made me cut my fucking foot off, but yeah, we're buds.
Yeah, but now we're best buds. Yeah,
and
we're old chums.
It's a little bit like a soap opera in that sense, and yeah, I remember I liked the first one, and yeah, it's cool that obviously James Wan's had a pretty successful career, and like the first time I watched it, I didn't realize how like low the budget was. I think they did a pretty good job of hiding the seams in that sense.
The first one's at least notable because it is like a low budget indie hit horror movie, which is like Blair Witch or something. So it's iconic in that way, and it's a good movie. I enjoy the first Saw.
Yeah, they managed to get like
the sequel's hit or miss. Some of them I like more than others.
Yeah, the first one's not particularly gory from what I recall. Like they definitely upped the ante, like with the spectacle in that sense.
Yeah, because that stuff costs money.
Torture porn.
Yeah, it just became torture porn. This one, I mean, it teetered on it, but at the end of the day, it does take a long time to get to that stuff, and it really builds up to it. And I thought the payoff was good. It wasn't just like all traps, and you just don't care about anybody or anything that's happening. They did try to develop it, even if you don't feel it works. I do find it commendable that it was like a bit better than. I mean, Spiral, the one with Chris Rock or whatever.
Yeah, again, it's a little strange how like much like they want you to empathize with Jigsaw because like he's like protecting the kid, but the kid still gets like basically like towards the end like the kid he gets like a random
the
kid gets entangled in traps and he's like waterboarded with bloodboarding. It's pretty disgusting.
I don't get what Jigsaw's plan at the end there was. I'm glad it all worked out. But there are a lot of variables at play.
Like how did he know that the kid was going to be outside?
His plan there was for them to like walk into the room and then for them to fight each other.
Yeah, it's a little nebulous. Because whatever the boyfriend with like partner in crime's like, who was going to be the other person in the little bloodboarding seesaw? It's funny because like several of the people they come really close, but it's like, I guess he didn't have the will to live. Like maybe if he had like fucking 10 more seconds, he would have been okay.
Yeah, they come close. Yeah, they should have been fast because they spend like the first 30 seconds like going.
Yeah, right. It's not much of a
and the rest
window.
of them are just like, do it, like.
Yeah.
But the first they're just like, I can't do it.
Right, yeah. Can you ask for a little extension?
Yeah. What was your favorite trap? That first one. Not like the first trap of the movie where the guy got his eyes sucked out. That one was cool, but I guess the second trap where the woman was gonna get her head cut off or whatever. That one was pretty. That one was pretty awesome. She just cut off her leg. That was sick.
I don't know. They're all pretty nasty.
There's some good ones in here. I thought.
I like
the Mateo's trap was great. I thought.
Yeah, and then I guess he just got mummified or whatever, like the little enclosure went around his head and squashed him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess my favorite was probably the one, he makes it out that the guy gets the he's wrapped up and he's got to cut the bombs off of his arms.
That one was cool, yeah.
And I presume that the woman survives at the end, the mean lady, the fake doctor.
Yeah, I think they're setting her up for a sequel. Like in the next Saw movie, it'll be about her, at least in the opening.
Did you catch? Sorry, did you catch the mid-credits scene?
No, there was a mid-credit.
Yeah, because you remember there's Jigsaw. He finds out about the cure from the guy who was at his cancer support group, and he was a fraud. So then you could see him and the Jigsaw and the detective have the guy strung up. He's been in a few other things. I recognize him. He's like the character actor.
I figured that guy was in on it.
It's fake scar.
I'm glad they resolved that. Yeah, because I knew that he was in on it. I think maybe for a sequel, but yeah, that's good. They at least concluded it in the post credit.
You don't see the conclusion of the trap, so you don't know but it's like a little back scratcher thing, whatever. There's a bunch of he's gonna be impaled somehow.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was walking out. I wasn't sure if there was gonna be something else because it was like a minute or two. But then as I was walking out, I could hear that there was another scene playing, so I returned.
Yeah, that's good. You noticed it. Yeah, well, I'll definitely see this movie again at some point. So I'll watch it then. Mm-hmm. What do you think? 3-star?
6 out of 10. Yeah, I think I don't know how much I'd watch it again just because it's really fucking gross and I
thought it was entertaining.
Sadistic. I wasn't bored. Yeah. I know you haven't seen it. I definitely enjoyed it more than The Exorcist Believer. That one I found very boring.
That one looks awful.
This one I think at least had a clear sense of what kind of movie it was. Like you said, it's more satisfying than some of the other sequels. But I give it a 6 out of 10. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I did enjoy it.
Yeah, go Saw X.
Yeah. It's like Jason X.
Was it better than Jason X?
Yeah, it was better than Jason X.
It was Friday the 13th last week. Maybe we should have reviewed all the Friday the 13th movies.
I already did that.
All right, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Just a quick side. I know I've told you this before. Since you mentioned Jason, I thought this was funny. When we were 6, that's when Freddy versus Jason came out, and I remember seeing a billboard for Freddy versus Jason, but there were no. It didn't have the title, so I'm just looking at these. I didn't know who Freddy or Jason were, so I was just looking at these two scary. This guy's looks like he's burnt, like it's made of pizza, and this guy's a hockey mask. I'm like, what am I looking at? Yeah. Obviously, most people would be like, "Oh, that's Freddy versus Jason," but I was a little kid. I was like, "This is kind of weird looking." I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. Okay. Happy Halloween. Go see Saw X. Now, the creator. Mm-hmm. It's from Gareth Edwards.
Director of the 2014 Godzilla and Rogue One.
Which are movies I enjoyed. Movies I thought at least looked visually compelling.
Yeah, I enjoyed those. He's definitely a distinctive sci-fi director, and I think one of the best things about Rogue One. I like that movie overall. I especially like the look of it. I like that it's a dark movie. I like that the aesthetic kind of. You can tell it's a dark movie, but it's not washed out. There's still color to it. It's just it has a good, I don't know, vibe. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's kind of a 70s look to it.
Like guerrilla style. I told you it was kind of guerrilla style filmmaking when they made the movie because it's a very consumer grade camera basically they were using to make it. It was very small and it gives the movie definitely a certain feel like you're watching something very grounded in reality. And it reminded me of what this is what Neil Blomkamp should be making now instead of Gran Turismo.
You didn't see that, to be
You
fair.
know?
Maybe it's really
Right.
good.
I just thought he would be making, original science fiction movies like this.
What were the other ones he did? Elysium, which I've never seen,
Elysium,
and
Chappie.
Chappie.
Yeah.
Uh,
District 9's great. Yeah. I don't know what happened after that. But this movie, it was well done. I didn't think it was anything spectacular. I just thought it was very, like, middle of the road story. And I enjoyed John David Washington. And it looked great. It looked fantastic. Like, it had a really great, visuals, I guess. But overall, it didn't really stand out to me in a story level, which is an issue I have with a lot of his movies. Other than Rogue One, which I enjoyed the story, you know, mostly at least. But yeah, it's just like a big like visual effects movie, and the story is like kind of an afterthought.
The plot's serviceable. I enjoyed it. I like the visuals too. I like the cast, John David Washington and Allison Janney. Yeah, I think it was paced well. I was never bored. I know you said that you thought it was a little dry. I could see that, but I didn't think it was like.
I was gonna say I did think it's a little dry. It's lacking like comedy, like Edge of Tomorrow, or Live Die Repeat, whatever you want to call that freaking fucking movie.
Oh, we
It
like
has,
the
five
movie.
different-
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I like the movie. I just don't like that it has like 5 different titles. or
Edge of
whatever.
Tomorrow. I think
But,
I
yeah.
think people
But
get
that
me.
movie has like a sense of humor to it, and a lot of good like of these movies of this type do. And this one's just like a little too like somber and melodramatic, and
Yeah, but not in a.
felt a
I
little
didn't
too
find like
dry.
necessarily like in a bad way. Like it was. I wasn't like
no, it
miserable
just doesn't really
watching
have
it.
like the emotional punch at the end that it wants to have, like a movie like Inception does.
Oh sure, but yeah,
Some-
that's
something.
a really great
like
movie.
Interstellar. Yeah, right. It just doesn't really hit that level, even though it's like kind of trying to. And yeah, it's just like it's what I expected, which is like fine story, but there's
Well,
really the visuals that
we
stood
could-
out in the action and the design of the world and
I
everything.
mean, we can describe the story because we haven't really. It's about John David Washington's this guy in the. It's set in the future, right? I would think so.
Yeah.
A lot of there's like he's kind of like on the anti AI front, and he thinks his wife was vanished, but she was like involved with like the AI resistance, and he he eventually he's with this team led by Allison Janney, and they're trying to retrieve this weapon, which turns out to be a young girl who's a cyborg, with a robot, and he kind of learns to appreciate that robots are people too. Yeah, obviously there is influence
Yeah.
from Blade Runner or even something like Logan, which is also about a grizzled guy like caring for a kid. I'm sure that that you can think of other comparisons. But yeah, I in terms of sci-fi movies, I thought it was satisfying theater experience. Yeah, again, I liked the look of it, and yeah, I don't know if I have like too much. Yeah, I appreciate that like Gareth Edwards is trying different things.
Yeah.
and he definitely like has an affinity for the sci-fi genre.
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard to like stand out as a science fiction movie. And I definitely enjoyed the movie. I just had my issues with the story mostly. That being said, like the action was badass, and I told you the kamikaze robot scene where the robot's running across the bridge and like blows himself up. That was
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Right.
He just like keeps running past like people like shooting at him. It's great. I thought that was fun. And there's moments like that really stood out to me. Like CGI is great. You can see where the money is, and the world building. Yeah, it's well done. The whole thing is like people hate AI in this world because they've been blamed for like a nuclear disaster that happened in California, and they treat AI like they're tools, like they don't have consciousness, even though they very well might, or at least it's perceived like they have consciousness. Like you can't really tell the difference. Like they say, like when you kill like an AI, like, oh, I just turned them off, like, right? So yeah, it's definitely like making you think about those things and like consciousness of AI, and it's not like the worst movie to explore those things for sure, but it's not one of my favorites either. And it's mainly just like, well, Gemma Chan is in the movie too.
It's one of her better movies recently. It's certainly better
Yeah,
than
definitely is.
Eternals and Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah, because yeah, she's not in it much either, which is
She was fine when she appeared. I didn't mind.
yeah, right, I guess. And it was mainly just like a good like special effects movie, like good action, and that's like all I really like got from it as an experience.
It's definitely
Which,
more.
if that's what you're looking for, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely found it more satisfying as a blockbuster than something like The Flash, or some of the other recent.
For sure.
Yeah, it's not as good as something like Oppenheimer, which was terrific, obviously. But in terms of like we're now in the fall. They're less like big summer movies. Like if you're looking at something to see that it's like sci-fi or action oriented, I think this one's worth checking out.
Yeah, it's one of the better movies I've seen this year.
It's better than Ghosted.
Yeah, I'd hope so. Okay, what else is there to say about it? Like,
I think we covered a lot. Do you want to rate it?
I would rate it I don't know. Somewhere between like a 6 and a 7.
I'll give it a 7. I liked it overall.
Yeah, okay.
See you at...
I enjoyed Saw. I enjoyed Saw and this movie like almost as much, which I didn't expect.
They're pretty different movies, but I'm glad you found enjoyment in both.
Yeah, for sure. Saw was just like a camp fest.
Okay. Live or die, make your choice.
Live or die. Should I like go on Threads and like ask people if they have questions?
Sure. First question, Ralph, do you think that scene in Halloween Ends was a dream?
Do you have any questions? What should I write? Do you have any questions for me?
Sure, yeah.
My podcast.
I have a quick one. Are you planning on seeing The Exorcist Believer?
Not in theaters. I mean, I hear it's awful.
Yeah,
do you want to cover it on the show?
If you want to watch it, we can.
Well, what is because we're gonna have a guest on. Is it next time?
Well, yeah, if you want to, it's up to you.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, if they want to cover what did we say we were gonna cover with them?
He said, what's it? Hereditary and Killing of a Sacred Deer. I think that's the ones we agreed on.
Okay.
Let's do all the other Saw movies. All 9 preceding Saw movies.
Mm-hmm. Should I say, do you have any film-related questions for my podcast? Is that? I'm scared to post.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's see if people troll me or not.
Live or troll, make your choice.
Oh, I can edit it. Do you have any film-related questions for my podcast? And then I'll put like a film emoji. Or can I do that? I don't know.
You're so shy about it.
Yeah. This is how I am when I post. I'm very like self-conscious.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Let's see if anyone even answers.
That trap in Saw 10 where Mateo was removing his brain matter. That's much like watching Taboli flee. Like, it's painful. You become dumber in the process. There's blood involved.
That's great. I love that.
Any takers?
Let's see.
It's like a South Park, like Mr. Mackey's like, I have anonymous sex questions, and he's like opens the things like, Mr. Mackey, you are gay. It's like what all of them say.
That's what I'm expecting.
Mr. Mackey, sometimes my dad hits me, and you are gay.
Man, Thread sucks. No one's responding.
Maybe I can come up with it. Let me come up with a question. Give me a moment.
Yeah, maybe there's one on my Reddit.
Like, have you ever walked out of a movie Like, I've walked out of every movie. You gotta leave at some point.
Here's one from Muhammad Tala, 286. Do you two watch sports?
What's a sport? No, a little bit. I missed the Pats game earlier because I was driving around. They haven't been doing that well, as I'm sure many of you might be aware. Yeah, I'll go to like games. I'm more like a casual like sports guy. I watch the Bruins.
Yeah.
I'm not a big baseball guy. I think you're more into baseball than I am.
I was gonna say you're not a big baseball guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, even I was joking.
Sox.
Go Sox.
Yeah.
I didn't see the Sox, but I watched Saw X.
Yeah, Sox.
Yeah, go Sox. Go Jigsaw. I'm rooting for you. I got my little flag, my Jigsaw flag, and my pennant.
I enjoy baseball. I'm like you. Yeah, casual sports watcher. Nothing like crazy. I can't remember all the names of the players or anything like that, but I know some of the key ones and whatever. I like baseball. I've seen like a lot of sports games though. I've been to baseball games, basketball games.
Yeah, I've been to
football games. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was at
hockey.
Yeah, hockey's fun.
Hockey? Yeah.
I'm named after a hockey player. I'm named after Cam Neely, who's been in a few movies. He was in Dumb and Dumber. That's not. It was more based on his hockey career rather than his acting career. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
that's cool.
It can be fun to go. I like playing sports. I like like soccer, volleyball. Yeah, how about do you have a favorite sports movie?
That's a good question.
Because there are a few.
There's a lot of good ones. Yeah, there's like, this more I gotta see. I saw was it Bo Burnham?
Bull Durham. Yeah.
Bull Durham.
I've never seen that, but I've heard it's good.
Yeah, Bull Durham.
Bull Durham.
Bull Durham.
Yeah.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
Bull Durham is afraid.
Bo Derek.
Yeah, I still haven't seen like Hoosiers. I know that's a popular one. I like, obviously Rocky's great. Yeah, Raging Bull. Like, I don't whether you consider like Raging Bull like a sports. It's funny, like some of those sports movies,
that's
like the sports like aren't even that prominent necessarily.
Yeah,
because like
it's like saying like Whiplash is like about music. Yeah,
I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah, as much as I guess Rocky's about wrestling or not wrestling,
boxing. Yeah, like on the waterfront, the Marlon Brando character's a boxer, but you never, it's like after his career's over. The
Fiction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a sports movie. Like the wrestler. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like Moneyball. That's a good movie.
I was gonna say Moneyball's a good one if you're thinking of baseball ones like Bull Durham.
Yeah, you got it. Field of Dreams.
I really hesitated when I said it.
I can probably think of other examples. I like like Slapshot. Yeah, we might think of more like after
Caddyshack.
Yeah, Caddyshack's funny.
Yeah.
So I think of like a good football one. I remember seeing I don't know if this is like one of the best, but I remember seeing the one with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
That's not one of his worst by any means.
What's Rudy?
I've never seen Rudy.
You've never seen Rudy?
No.
Yeah, people like that one.
It's like Remember the Titans. They're probably like more.
Remember the Titans. With The Blind Side.
Yeah, that one's alright. Yeah, I don't know why that was nominated for Best Picture. That was a weird choice.
Yeah.
They should have nominated Fantastic Mr. Fox. That would have been a better choice.
Yeah, that would have been. Let's double check if I got anything on Threads, and then if I didn't, we will, I guess, wrap up, and then I will delete Threads forever because it's useless.
Yeah, sports movies. Let me look up, see if there are any I missed. Foxcatcher, yeah. Oh, The Fight. Yeah, The Fight.
Oh,
is
yeah.
a good movie.
Which one?
Foxcatcher.
Yeah, Foxcatcher. What's the other one you said? You just
the Fighter, which I don't think you've seen. The Fighter is a good movie.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to count documentaries here. Warrior. Have you seen that with Tom Hardy?
No, I've heard it's good. Oh, Creed. Yeah, because we mentioned. Yeah, I like basically like all the Rocky movies.
$1 Million Baby.
Right.
I like that one actually.
I like it. My dad hates it. Thinks it's terrible.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't get it. But you like it. You like it though.
Sure, yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time.
Ford v Ferrari, if you're gonna
Right.
count racing and all that.
Yeah,
I
I
saw
could count.
Ferrari recently with Adam Driver. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see. Yeah, I like Ford
Yeah.
v Ferrari. I like Rush. Talladega Nights is a really funny movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Air. Yeah, I guess that's a sports movie. That was good. That just came
Yeah.
out recently. King Richard, I
Did you?
liked.
Yeah. Did you say I Tanya?
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't hear you.
Jerry Maguire. He's a sports agent. Yeah, that's a good one. Sandlot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think we got a lot of yeah, there's definitely more, but yeah, it's hard to name all of them. Goon. I remember seeing that. That was funny.
Yeah. Karate Kid.
Yeah, definitely.
Shaolin Soccer.
I've seen. I remember the preview for it. I've never seen the whole thing. League of Their Own's a
Yeah.
good movie. I've never
Mhm.
seen Breaking Away, but yeah, those are some good ones.
Have you seen 42?
Yeah, I like 42.
Yeah, I like 42.
That was my introduction to Chadwick Boseman, which he was
Yeah.
really good in that. So I'm not surprised
Yeah.
he got
Yeah.
some really great
Same.
parts afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Dodgeball.
I've seen parts of it.
I have Dodgeball rated a 7. That's funny. Oh yeah, that movie Unbroken, the Angelina Jolie directed one, is boring as hell.
Yeah, it looked. I remember when
Yeah.
that came out. It looked boring, so I never saw
Yeah,
it.
it's half a sports movie. Yeah.
Wasn't
Then
that
it
nominated
becomes
for
like a
Best
war
Picture
movie.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little
Bunch
ridiculous.
of Garbaggio.
Um, yeah, we
High
covered.
Roller. How about High Roller?
High Roller.
It's actually on this list. It's on
Oh,
this
that's
list.
funny. I get if
The
we count
sports
gambling.
list.
I like.
Yeah.
I
If you
haven't.
count gambling, yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while, but I like Drowners. That's a good one. Matt Damon and Edward Norton.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the wrestler. We mentioned already. Remember the Titans? Yeah, not a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't
Knockout.
seen. Which one?
It's a movie with who's that guy? He was just in the Steve Seagal movie with Steve Austin.
Oh, okay.
It's a movie with him. Yeah, it's like a Karate Kid knockoff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I still haven't seen
It's really
Hustle.
funny.
I haven't seen Way Back. Yeah, we covered a lot.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, that's like
Yeah, yeah.
almost all of them I've seen,
If-
basically.
I haven't seen Love and Basketball. Yeah, if we missed some, you can comment. We'll look them up.
Yeah, let us know and leave your questions on the threads, my threads post. But yeah, we answered that one question. That was good. With two about sports. They're kind of connected sports questions.
Right.
Because this is a manly podcast. We're men.
Now that we're men.
Now that we're men, we change our underwear.
Underwear.
Now we're men.
You've been wearing the You've been wearing the same goofy goober underwear for 3 years straight. Did you see
Hey,
my
watching.
Did you see my underwear? Did you want to? All right. Are we done? Norman. Were we supposed to walk off? Is that the plan? All right.
Can if you want.
Yeah, it's fine. We're done. I'm done. This conversation's over.